Success isn't given, it's earned. And earning it means becoming the person who deserves it. The bottom line is where we cut through the chaos to simplify success, uncovering the strategies, mindset, and resilience it takes to win. Real stories, expert insights, and practical tools. Because the only way to the top is by putting in the work. This is The Bottom Line. Welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm your host, Ryan Herpin, and today we're here to talk about something that affects every relationship, every team, and every organization: communication. But not just any communication. We're talking about effective communication. There's a difference between speaking and truly being understood. And today, I want to focus on where that communication can break down and how that can change the dynamic of a team, of a relationship, and how an organization operates overall. And I know I've been in several situations where I feel like I'm just being heard, not being understood. And that can be frustrating. I've been in a position where I'm talking to a whole room of employees or team members or peers, and I'm really trying to get a point across because it's important to me, but I don't feel that they truly understand what I'm saying. And I'm sure many of you have been in those shoes as well, whether it be to a spouse or our kids or coworkers or sporting events, whatever it may be. We've all been in situations where we may say something, but is anyone truly listening? So today I want to talk about a few effective communication points that really matters on a deep level, right? And that's connection versus transmission. Communication isn't just sending information, it's creating meaningful connections. And I've learned over my career as a consultant that it's not always about getting all the information out there. A lot of the time it boils down to just making that connection, getting somebody to buy into who you are before they're really willing to buy into what it is you have to talk about, whether it be constructive criticism or an action plan for how to change their organization or make their team better, more efficient, whatever that may be. In my shoes, I've seen it's more effective and efficient to build that communication, that relationship before the communication is truly effective. So I think there's connection that is required so that the communication can be consistent and actually taken in. Another very important part of effective communication, I believe, is active listening. Now, we've all been told this in school, growing up. It's really common. You've got to be active listeners. You've got to be intentional with what you're listening to and pay attention to who's talking or wherever that information is coming from. But I like to take that a step further because active listening, in my opinion, is genuine interest, showing genuine interest in what someone says. Active listening sometimes requires questions, involves nodding, body language. That's a huge part of it. Active listening, number one, allows you to soak in more information by being genuinely interested in it. Second, your genuine interest is going to take down walls, break down barriers, and allow the speaker, whoever is talking to you, to be more comfortable and to tell you more and to be more confident that they're being heard. And if you're active listening, they are being heard. Another aspect of clear and effective communication is that clarity and simplicity. And I could talk about simplicity and communication till the cows come home. This is something I've put into practice with the businesses I've ran, the businesses I've helped, in my own team on a regular basis, as well as my kids. Simplicity in communication. It's really easy to talk about a million different things. It's really easy to take a small point and turn it into something really big. And when we're doing that, we dilute the capability of making an impact or getting the information clearly understood. There's a few concepts my mentor had taught me, and one of them is essentially the understanding of brevity. How you can say few words and have a big impact. It can be more meaningful. And a lot of that boils down to patience and understanding of who it is you're talking to, as well as who it is you're listening to. But the power of delivering clear, concise, and compelling messages, it can be really refined into that clarity in simplicity and making it as simple as possible. I also want to focus on impact and influence. How effective communication can boost your leadership and professional growth. Impact can be done in a few different ways. Either you have really high quality things to talk about, or you deliver it in a really good way. Everything you hear, everything everyone else hears is a form of influence. The influence is going to dictate your thoughts, and those thoughts are going to dictate your actions. So I believe a part of effective communication is understanding the impact of what you say, because that's going to dictate people's thoughts. And that is going to then control their actions or dictate their actions. So if your communication is not one in based in connection, two, paying attention to the active listening portion, if your message isn't clear and simple, you're going to lack the impact to create the influence you desire. Communication, in my opinion, has to be objective based. Every time I communicate with somebody, whether it be my wife, my kids, teammates, whoever, there is always some sort of objective, whether it's relationship, whether it's results of a task or changing a behavior. It has to have some form of objective. And no one is the same. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different response to communication types. I wrote in a book I co-authored about how my mentor communicates. For me, if someone's trying to lead me, they need to make me mad at me. I respond well to being yelled at. It's odd, I know. I don't know many people that respond well to that type of communication, but for me, if you can make me mad at me or show me that I'm in somebody else's way of success, I will move mountains. Whereas I've seen my mentor work with other mentees, and he was very soft, calm, collected, and delivered a message in a very subtle way. And that's what made that person move. We have to understand our communication needs to be tailored to the audience. If communication has an objective, it makes sense to understand what gets us closer to achieving said objective. For my son, he's very young, very crazy. He likes to destroy things, be crazy, and do dangerous stuff. For him, I have to get his attention as any toddler, and I have to tell him, hey, you've got to be careful. You could get hurt. And if that doesn't work, the tone has to raise, the importance has to raise. And it's the same thing with any kind of communication. A good example, when you're the owner of a business, your job is to motivate, inspire, lead your team. And that also includes holding accountability. If you have to reprimand somebody for doing something dangerous for themselves, for the company, for coworkers, and you deliver it too soft, you approach it too calm, it doesn't it can't be received as that serious. So in that form of communication, when you have an objective to change someone's behavior in a sense that their actions are unsafe for the business, for themselves, for others, it has to be delivered with a stern, honest, concerned, serious approach, raising the tone, speaking straightforward, great eye contact. Those are important aspects of that objective based communication. And although I've kind of lightly touched base on the body language aspect, and this is something I'm really looking forward to getting into with our guest today, body language. In this new age of technology and communication, we spend a lot of time communicating over the phone, over text, over Zoom meetings, things of that nature. It's hard to have one of the most important parts of communication when we do that, and that's the body language. Energy is transmitted through body language. Intention is transmitted through body language. Understanding a lot of the time can be seen through the body language of an individual. Someone with their arms crossed, turned slightly away from you. That sends a different kind of signal than if someone's in front of you, smiling, moving their hands, showing that passion, the communication, or just showing genuine interest in what you're saying, a sense of wonder. That body language is just as important as the verbal communication, because it allows us to have that clear message, that clear understanding. Not to mention, we can also see how someone feels about their communication based on their response to our body language. If you're more reserved, they may kind of back off a little bit in the way they're communicating. If you show genuine interest, as I've said before, with your body language, not just with your words, but with your actions, they're more likely to be comfortable, confident, and happy to share their information, to talk to you, to open up to you. And when it comes to leadership, when it comes to business, when it comes to parenthood or being a spouse, it is critical to be open and comfortable in the communication. It's easy to let communication fall to the wayside for something that's important. Another problem that we have is our phones. There's a body language signal there's really just a signal altogether that is presented when you have your phone in your hand, even if it's sitting on the table in front of you. Flipped up, flipped down, doesn't make a difference. It sends a signal that the person you're talking to is not the most important thing, that you prioritize that device over them. Small things like body language can make a huge difference, just as your phone does. Today, I'm really, really excited to dive into further details, further topics, and the complexities of communication. It is such a big, big topic to talk about. And I have a wonderful privilege of having an expert, a genuine expert on this topic to help us uncover how we can improve our communication and become effective communicators in all aspects of business, life, and it's the most important tool you'll have in your tool bag at any given time. Your voice, your communication capabilities. So today, we're going to dive in, talk about really important things. Please grab a pen and pad. This is going to be a great one. I'm excited for it. And don't go anywhere. We will be right back on the bottom line.